Welcome back to my channel. This is Conrado Casalo, your favorite Dallas Filipino realtor, and this is episode 3 on Flip Fridays. Today we have a special guest. We have Ate Josephine Bryan with Hungry Free Philippines, and she's gonna talk about a little bit about her nonprofit. Before you got into nonprofit, what led you to it?
So when I started, I didn't even know the word nonprofit at all. All I knew was to, backtrack. My father, I haven't been home in about over 10 years.
Oh wow!
And my father got
When
ill.
you say that, you mean in the Philippines?
In the Philippines.
Okay.
My father got ill in the Philippines, and they told us to, my brothers told me to, if you want to see dad, you need to go home because he was on a life support back
wow.
then. So 2 days later, my husband and I fly to the Philippines and actually planning for a funeral. When we got there, we visited him in the hospital. Literally a week later, he went home. It's like nothing happened.
Oh wow!
So
That was a miracle.
It's a miracle. We have 2 more weeks left.
Yeah.
So I got invited by a friend of mine to go to different small churches.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when I saw the poverty from a totally different
So you
lens.
saw the need in the Philippines.
I saw the need, and here they are, just going to church, being on the street with no shoes, no flip-flops, nothing.
Wow.
And in the Philippines, you know how we are, there's really not a lot of on your face begging you.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing like that. It's like they just take it in.
Yeah, they just live in poverty,
They
and then it is what it is.
It is what it is. But I feel like, it's just a burden that I can do something about it. I started by just sending all my kids' clothes back
Yeah.
then. I started sending whatever I can to just help them. That's how it started, just one box at a time, sending it to the Philippines. So over the years, we self-funded it for so many years.
How long?
Gosh, I don't know, 5-7 years.
So were you already an organization? Like was it already
No.
there? So there was no name, there was nothing yet.
There's
It was
no
just
name.
you doing what you felt like you were compelled to do.
I started by calling it Compassion Philippines, and then I found out that there is a Compassion International.
Oh yeah,
So
yeah.
I always
they're pretty big.
They always ask me, is this with Compassion International? I said no, and then but really what hit me is a friend of mine asked me, where can I donate?
Yeah.
I said, well, I'm doing this, and she said you should have a nonprofit, and that's how I got introduced with a nonprofit.
Okay, so someone led you to it. So pretty much God said, hey, I'm going to pretend that your dad's about to die to get you to come to the Philippines. But in reality, I just want to show you what's going on. I want to open up your eyes
Right.
and your heart to this.
Exactly.
Okay.
Which, by the way, he lived another 3 years
After that.
Yep.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
That's that's by the grace of God.
Yes, with the grace of God.
So then now your friend says, hey, how do I donate? So they must have seen you like on social media, or
Right.
you must have been posting about what you were doing. They got curious. They say, hey, I want to donate. Now they're asking you, why don't you start it as a 501
Yes.
and do a nonprofit? And you're thinking in your head, what were you thinking in your head when she said that?
I was thinking literally a nonprofit. I didn't know anything about nonprofit back then. So she started telling me about, so that people will be able to donate money to your organization.
And you could get grants, you could get government funding or some sort of funding, and,
Right.
and it makes it easier for you to help people
To sustain.
to
You're right.
sustain.
You're right.
Okay.
Right.
Then, so what did you do before that?
For so long, I worked in a corporate job, office. But over the years, we started just one of those employees who does the work, 9 to 5 job. And 2019, that's when God said, okay,
Leave.
it's time for you to
So that must have been scary to leave what you're used to, because a lot of people who have a corporate steady job for years, and all of a sudden
20-something years I've been in a corporate job.
you have to leave to start a nonprofit that you don't even know how well it will do or take off or even have the ability to sustain your current living situation.
That's right.
What should they expect when they do something like that, or when they feel like they're being called in a ministry like that?
Well, first and foremost, you know when you're called because there's this burning fire in your heart that doesn't go away. That no matter how you subside it, how you push it down, it always comes up. And you're a totally different person when they touch base, they talk about your passion.
Yeah.
You know, you become alive and you become, you just wanted to do anything and everything for that with nothing in return. To me, that's passion. That's what God is calling you for that. And don't shy away from it. It is scary, but that's when faith comes in.
You were telling me earlier that you did real estate for a few years, kind of, sort of, and you thought that that was a way for you that you could fund the nonprofit
right.
and get more money. But, what happened in that journey, and how did you realize that that journey was not for you?
Because I listen to a lot of my friends, people that I know. You can be really good in real estate. It's just because I can talk to anyone. And they said that could really fund your nonprofit. So I really listened to them, and I said, okay, I love people. I like serving. I like meeting new people. Why not? So I did. And then I said, okay, I'm gonna dive in. And when I did, it's just not there. And a lot of my friends, what I was telling you earlier, whenever I tried to pitch in the real estate, I ended up talking about the nonprofit. I ended up talking about what the vision that God has given me there. And they ended up always, 99% of the time, they'll tell me you should do your nonprofit.
So God was using people to speak to you.
Literally.
And you were pretty much, even though you already started the nonprofit, but you were trying to go this way.
Right.
With real estate, thinking that you could fund it in the nonprofit. I wouldn't say that you failed in real estate. You just had an epiphany that this isn't the direction that I need to go. Then what happened when you left the real estate industry and you said, I'm just going to go full time with Hungry Free Philippines? How did God work after that?
So, mind you, I think to me now, thinking and talking, right? Part of it is not being able to support myself and having that cozy job that you're going to get every 2 weeks. You're gonna have that salary, right? And with the real estate, you don't have that.
You don't have that.
But then again, if you have a nice closing deal, I mean, you can have 2-3 months at least for the next one, right? And that's why I went for the real estate. But then again, there's this loud voice, you shouldn't be doing this. God is calling me from a totally different avenue. And so when I said yes, okay, God, when I did, it's like everything goes into places, people that I should be meeting, the open doors. Not just that, I think more is I was able to focus on what God called me to be, is to serve and feed those people in the Philippines that I could have not done had I continued, because my attention is so
spread out.
Exactly.
Yeah. You were double-minded, but God says, I need you to be hot, not lukewarm.
Exactly.
Right.
It's either you do this or you do that. But then again, God is just so clear. He's pretty much black and white. When it's light, it's always going to be light. Now, in a way that it's not your way, it's going to be my way, and you're just going to have to trust me.
You're going to have to trust him.
Right.
Well, he says, for the heavens is higher than the earth, for my ways and my thoughts are higher than yours. So it's like the way that we think and the way that we plan and strategize, that's like child's play to God. And he's saying, like, no, you're only looking at the picture of what you could see. He's like, I've already seen the end.
Right.
Right.
Exactly. And that can be really, really scary.
It's scary.
When you don't have enough faith to put in. Because, reality is, we're human beings. We're so limited with our capability.
With our imagination.
Exactly.
I met you in the middle of 2022 when I moved here from Seattle, and your husband was preaching in Greenville at the Genuine Faith Community Church over there. Now, how from 2015 to 2022, it seemed like when I seen your video, your promotion that you did at the church, that you already fed a lot of kids. Yeah. How many people you actually fed within that that time span?
Oh my God, it's I think 33 something thousand right now meals that we provided
Wow.
already. Not to mention last year alone we were able to give groceries to 580 families last year alone. So, as a matter of fact, last week we just fed 200 kids.
Wow. Now, there's that saying that goes, if you give a man a fish, he'll eat for a day. But if you teach a man to fish, he'll eat for a life. So I know that your whole purpose is to make sure that Philippines is hunger free. Are you giving them fishes or are you giving them tools
Both.
like schooling? Like what are you doing right now to help them, to educate them on either entrepreneurship or being able to get a job? What is Hungry Free Philippines doing that could help support and sustain the communities over there?
So that's where we're going right now. That's the future vision goal. As a matter of fact, we're having a fundraising event in September. Right now, we're homeless, guys. We are homeless. We have a lot of volunteers in the Philippines.
You said
that
you're
does-
homeless?
Homeless in a way because we don't have a hub.
Okay, in the Philippines. So you're
Right.
like nomads.
Nomads.
Okay, you're not homeless. You're nomads.
There you go. And so we wanted to have
Center.
a center in the Philippines to where we're able to feed, of course.
Uh-huh.
We would like to have a soup kitchen.
Okay.
We would like to have a cafe to where we invite communities and small businesses, corporation to come and support it so that we can sustain it. In return, we give resources, leadership development, and self-development to the local communities in our area or outside of the Philippines. That's one part of it. And the second part of it is being able to invite volunteers
Yeah.
to come to the Philippines
From like US and from different countries or whoever.
Right.
Okay.
to do kingdom work
Oh wow.
and set them out
Yeah.
to teach, to do whatever they are called for by God. And that's what we're
I think that's an important aspect. When people have their spiritual life right, mental life right, then it transfers into the physical life.
Exactly. So I've asked by so many and told by so many, you cannot just feed them, right? But you gotta teach them how to
Yeah.
fish. But with all honesty, they still need to eat,
They still need to eat while they're, yeah.
and that's what I'm called for. You know, I cannot just listen to people and saying, you gotta teach them how to fish. I think that's somebody else's calling.
Oh,
right
yeah.
now.
I was just thinking that too. There's a lot of organizations out there that are going to the Philippines that are helping out with sex trafficking, that are
Right.
helping out with education.
Right.
But right now, your ministry is to feed and let the other organizations that have the platform or they have the resources,
Exactly.
the books for them to be able to teach.
So we're doing the urgency that what they needed right now,
Yeah,
just to
the
get
nourishment.
by. Exactly. Some of them really just to get through the day. Basically, that's what it is, and that's the reality that a lot of us does not know. Because here in America, we think about, okay, what do we have for next month?
Yeah. Well, we have
people-
food stamps here too.
Exactly.
There's a lot of resources. There's a lot of like churches that are doing like the rations.
Right.
That you could get free food over here, or that system in the Philippines is
Right.
broken.
Exactly. That's the sad part of it. And we need to step up, especially those Filipinos that are here. I mean, any amount, literally any amount can help a family to have at least a week of meals for them.
Yeah. Is there anything else that you want to tell the viewers? There's a September event, or how can they be a part of this? How can they donate to the cause? Who do they reach? Like, what's your social media handle? Who can they contact?
So we are Hunger Free Philippines. You can find us on Instagram, Facebook. We also have that coming up annual fundraising event on September 14th, and that we're going to have a speaker, of course, and I want you guys to get to know the people that you're helping. That's what we're going to focus on this time. It's more on who they are and where your money's going.
So not just you, but you're talking about you want them to get to know the people in the Philippines that you're
Exactly.
helping.
Exactly. Yep. And that's what it is. it's really not about us. It's about the people that we're helping, because I'm so big on people who donates to Hunger Free Philippines, who supports Hunger Free Philippines. I'm so just quick of giving them stories, giving them the faces of the people that they give to. I think that's so important, because it's really, I'm just that middleman who would like to discover and meet those people who likes to help, and finding the people, the families that needing help. So that's the
You're
best
like a
thing.
matchmaker. You're,
I
you're,
am
you're
a
connecting
matchmaker.
people who like to help and people who need the help.
Exactly. That's exactly. I might use that.
Yeah, no, that's amazing what you're doing, and I believe that more people need to be aware of what you're doing so they could help.
Yes.
Because there's a lot of people out there that want to help an organization, but sometimes they're thinking like, well, how do I know that the money that I'm putting in here is actually helping the
Right.
people that they say they are?
And we're pretty transparent on our social media. I mean, we have a lot of volunteers all over the Philippines, and I encourage everyone who supports to reach out to them. You don't have to come through us. You because we put their handle there as well, that you can easily just reach out to them and say, hey, is this legit? Is this something? Is it's what they do? Is what they're really doing? And we encourage that.
Awesome. No, God is good. Well, you heard it firsthand, Ati Josephine, Hungry Free Philippines. So if you're around the Dallas-Fort Worth area, September 14th, she is going to have a fundraiser that will help feed families in the Philippines. With that being said, I want to thank all my viewers. Make sure you follow her on her social medias. I'm going to put all the information in the description. With that being said, y'all have a wonderful day.